If you ever had to deal with a Google Maps, Google Business Profile verification issue, you're not alone. Let's talk about what's going on today as of September 2023.
This isn't just any podcast. This is your secret weapon for dominating the market.
This is the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast, and this is your host, Sean McMeen.
Welcome to Restoration Marketing Secrets. I am your host, Sean McMeen, and today is episode 20 of Restoration Marketing Secrets. And today we're going to talk about Google Business Profile or Google Maps Profile verification issues. This is a constant pain point for any business that is just starting or business that's wanting to open another location or change your address or you're moving or anything related to that. Google is making it very, very difficult to get verified on your Google Maps listing. And they're doing this for multiple reasons. They're doing this because there's way too much spam out there, way too many instances where lead generation companies or, even legit companies are started creating multiple Google business profiles for addresses that were not locations for their business. And the reason why that started is because Google tightened up the restriction of getting your business profile to show up in the Maps section. Back in the day, several years ago, it used to be that you'd have a Google Maps profile. You could have it in the suburbs and it would show all over a metropolitan area if you did the right things to promote that profile and make it rank. Now, it's more so about proximity rating and ranking and proximity signals on your Google Maps profile. You primarily cannot rank for a huge metropolitan area with a new Google business profile or even a business profile that's been out there for a long time without a ton of work to make sure that the proximity signals or the location signals to that profile are relevant to the searcher searching for service in that specific area. And so that is why people have come up with these strategies of, okay, I'm going to do 10 Google Maps profiles in a city and I'm just going to spread them all over the place. And to combat that, Google has basically fought back by saying, hey, we're going to make it super difficult for you to create a new Google Maps profile, because if your business isn't known at a specific address, it is automatically going to suspend. They're putting a bunch of false suspensions or false verifications out there, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But at the end of the day, a strategy has been to have multiple listings for your business in a metropolitan area. So let's say you're located in Chicago. You want a listing in the northern, the city center, the south, the west, even suburbs around it. And that used to be super easy to get verified and get set up that way, even at home locations or at virtual office locations. And it's becoming very, very difficult to do that strategy because Google is fighting back, and you have to have everything in order as if you legit have a business at that location. Now, I get it. You want to, if you're in a metropolitan area, you want to get business all over this city. But if you do not have, if let's say your business is located in the north side of Chicago and your customer base is in the south side of Chicago and you don't have an office address located there, it's going to be very difficult for you to show up there because there's already a lot of companies that have established presence in the south side of Chicago that are closer to the searcher. And so that's really what the search methodology has been in more recent years, is that we're going to show businesses that we feel can solve the problem for the searcher and that are close as possible to them. And that's why people are looking at these strategies. Ultimately, Google's terms of service is basically saying that if you don't have a legit business or office location there, we're not going to let you spin up these fake locations like you used to be able to do. And what that's preventing is people to expand their region or their area out as far as possible. Now, I'm not one that's you can't really fight the Google machine, right? They're going to do what they're going to do. And there are strategies that you can do to combat this. But if you play in the dark area or the gray area, you're going to also have to understand that there's risk associated with that, right? And so just be careful when you're coming up with your strategy of multiple Google Maps listings. It can come back to bite you. You can waste a lot of money, time, resources to have these listings set up, and they could get suspended because a competitor says, nope, that's not a legit location. So here's a rule of thumb. If you're going to create an additional or secondary Google Maps location, do it as if this is your legit office in this location. And by that I mean, obviously not a UPS box or UPS box or whatever those things are. Virtual office locations can work, but most of those don't have the ability for you to have a utility bill in your company's name. And you have to treat it as if you have a legit location, and you have to get all your ducks in a row. And so what's happening now, when you start to create a new Google business location with an address, you need that company, your company name, associated to that address with utility bill, with lease documentation. You need to be able to do a video verification. You need to be able to have a photo of your facility. You need to be able to verify that is truly your location. You used to be able to, talk to a friend or a coworker and say, hey, I want to get an address at your house verified, right? It's very, very difficult to get house addresses verified because of the utility bill requirement that most rejections are going to have associated with it. So again, our typical process here is if you're going to do a secondary location or if you're starting a new business, you need to have all your proper documentation in place. It all starts with your website having your name, or what's called NAP, name, address, phone number, associated on that website. Okay. Once you have that established, you should have additional assets online, such as a Bing Places location or a Yelp listing or other directories like Better Business Bureau, those types of listings. So those are all things good to start with to establish that company name at that address. Now, that's not going to make it so that Google automatically verifies it. Just won't happen. And so once you get those things established, you need to be able to have some sort of documentation. Typically what Google will do is you start the process of verification. They're going to say, it was accepted. Wrong, not accepted. Probably will not be accepted out of the gate. They're going to come back and say, well, you need to do a video verification. Okay, great. So you do a video verification. It's their requirements are no more than 5 minutes, typically 2 minutes. You have to show the outside of the property. You have to show the street address, the access of the vehicle, the branded vehicle that you have access right in front of the property. Then you have to go inside and be able to go into the property, show your working area, show your tools and things like that. And actually have a business card. No sensitive information like credit cards or anything like that, but show your business is associated with that address. And once you take that video, most of the time right now they're failing when you try to upload that video. So you are most likely going to have to open a support ticket. Sometimes it will upload, sometimes it won't upload. Sometimes you might have to do it 3 or 4 times. And again, Google is doing their thing, right? And so you have to jump through their hoops because it's a monopoly. They definitely control that side of it. So you're just going to have to bear with it. Do the video verification. Try to make it below 2 minutes so that way it uploads via your cell phone. And it has to be a live video. So when you try to upload it, if you are successful getting it uploaded, most times they're going to come back and still not approve it. They're going to ask for a utility bill then. They're going to ask for some sort of documentation that associates that company name to that address. If you cannot get a video to upload. You need to open a support ticket with them. And so there's ways of going about opening that support ticket, but you have to have all of that documentation in place, and you basically have to, you're at the mercy of their support, of wherever that support is at. And so here's what I'll say is that it is a legit strategy to have multiple listings, but it is painful. And you need to treat these as long-term assets and an office that you want to utilize into the future, because it is a lot of effort, a lot of work to get that verified. And I 100% get why they do it, because it used to be way too easy, and legit businesses were getting hurt by these companies that would spin up 50 locations in a city and just dominate the entire market, when you've got a lot of other businesses that are like, hey, I've been here for 20 years and we do amazing work and we want to help homeowners, but we're getting shadowed out, right? And that's the reason why they've created this difficulty. And I think it's a good thing. I do think it's a good thing. It can be frustrating when you're a new business starting out and you're trying to get your first office verified, or you do legitimately have you have another office that you're opening in the city, or a second location across the state. You have to jump through the hoops, and you have to follow the process that they laid out for you, or otherwise you're not going to get it verified. And so just to kind of recap here, everybody's experiencing this on Google business verifications. Everybody is going through this process. If you're starting an address at a new location, or you're starting a business at a new location, or if you're moving locations, typically you're going to have to go through this verification process. We have a client right now that's going to be moving locations in a couple weeks, and I told them, I said, look, we got to have a utility bill at that new location before we ever go out and change your Google Maps location, and you're going to have to do a video verification. So this is a legit office, so it shouldn't be a problem. But if you're playing on the gray side, just know that it's going to take lots of resources, meaning time and money, to make that a legitimate location that you're doing business out of, to be in guidelines with Google. And that's what we recommend. Be in guidelines. Don't play in the dark areas, because it's going to come back and bite you. It's going to come back and bite you, and somebody's going to suspend it. Somebody's going to do something, that causes to go down, or somebody mistakenly changes something, and then you got to go through the verification process again, and you're just asking for trouble. So if you're going to do it, if you're going to have a multiple location set up, do it right, and actually truly have that location where you can have access. You can have that address shown, and typically office locations are the best. I'm not saying that home addresses can't be verified, but it is becoming increasingly very difficult to do that. So all of this is for right reasons, but it doesn't mean it's not painful for those legit businesses out there that are trying to get their properties showing and trying to get business online. So hopefully this was helpful. If you ever have any questions, you can visit us at restorationmarketing.com, and we deal with this on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. But I'd be more than happy to share any resources that we have. We'll probably be coming out with some helpful documentation, but honestly, as soon as you come out with, Google changes something and it's outdated anyway. So a lot of this is what it is as of September 2023. So hopefully this was helpful, and I wish you luck on your journey, and thanks for following along with mine on this podcast. Until next time, this is Sean McMeen. I will talk to you.
You've been listening to the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast. Sean's not here to just talk the talk. He's walked the walk. With a track record of helping over 70 damage restoration companies and engaging in over 500 conversations with industry owners, he's seen it all. From digital marketing triumphs to the most ingenious growth hacks, he's got the keys to the kingdom, and he's sharing them with you. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, for more, hit the website at restorationmarketing.com. See you next time on the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast.